spinning coaster. This coaster looks great with its location around mirrors that make it look a little bit bigger and convoluted. And spinning cars always add a nice touch. Plus, it brings that extra roller coaster touch to Incredible Pizza Warr Acres. But just how fun is it? Find out in this review. Although SBF Visa has been around since 1952, they seem to have only started making roller coasters since 1996, as that's when their oldest coaster in the roller coaster database, Den Allen Minster, at Tysonfrøyd in Norway, debuted. Then, they sparked a wildfire of coasters in 2014, when they debuted their spinning coaster around the globe. With the oldest operating installments in the United States being Crazy Coaster at Silverwood, and Myrtle Turtle at Pavilion Park. Although Siam Amazing Park markets the Boomerang as the most popular coaster in the world, Boomerangs only number in at 53 installations, whereas there have been over 130 installations of these coasters worldwide, with about 71 versions of the classic MX608 Park Model A, which is found at San Antonio's Incredible Pizza, and is the version that spinning coaster is. 22 MX609 3-loop models have been made, as well as a few more unique models, such as the version found at Alley Cat's Hearsts, that are ultimately likely pretty similar to the basic design of a figure-8 track with 4 spinning cars. Though again, that third helix or loop, hence 3 loops, can be added as well as cars that go upside down. Incredible Pizza itself is a chain of 50s themed pizza buffets that have a midway in the back with an arcade and various attractions. Warr Acres has a bit more with mini golf, go-karts, laser tag, a scrambler, bumper cars, and La Bamba. With family entertainment centers, you do have to be careful with the price, since the arcade games and attractions are pay per ride, with spinning coaster being $8 a ride, so it's not cheap. However, Incredible Pizza offers a large variety of packages, none with unlimited video games or rides though. I visited Incredible Pizza in 2025 when they had a different pricing structure. For 2026, they have changed to promoting 2 unlimited wristbands that gives guests 2 or 3 hours of unlimited attractions for a similar price to what I paid. If you can stack rides, this could be better, but it does not allow you to bounce as easily between playing and eating. So, although it looks better, I'm not sure how much of a better deal it is, though I did spend a little over 2 hours at IPC on my visit. I did want to include my experience with their pricing structure, even if it is a bit outdated, as they change up their packages fairly regularly, so it should, at the very least, be good context. The Ultimate Eat and Play package with 6 attractions for $46 plus tax is the most expensive. And although expensive, this is on par with the cost of, or cheaper than, riding all the rides at a similar style amusement park, and those normally do not include a buffet. And despite not being unlimited, it was still more than enough for me to spend 2 to 3 hours in the park, so a lesser package is likely fine. If you only want to do a few attractions around the midway, though these tend to be in the $30 price range anyways, so they're not that much cheaper. The online special, you just have to get the barcode or really mention it at the counter, of Stars and Stripes. This is what it was over the summer that I visited, and it does seem to change seasonally, is by far the best deal, as 4 attractions and the game card for $30 is very reasonable, and should give you a full day of incredible fun. By starting with a scrambler, they do rotate attractions, so it is important to do so with how pricing works. I was able to do every attraction once with this package. They did not scan me on laser tag, so I got an extra lap on the coaster doing this. After leaving the station, you go up a turning lift hill. You can get mild spinning during this lift, but likely you're not going to get much, especially on your initial climb. At the top, the crest is rather forceless as it is flat and straight. Then you have a turning drop. If you're spinning strongly, this can be slightly enjoyable, and this coaster seemed to spin more than similar ones that I've been on. The forces of the drop can just have you spin with the drop, which does negate any decent laterals, but if you get spinning a bit more here, it can add a bit of excitement to the overall ride. This drop is also too drawn out to offer much of an overall drop feeling. Then there's the highlight of the ride, a quick sharp turn into the station at the bottom of the hill. In the front, you likely won't have much speed to get decent laterals here as it was rather forceless, but in the back, this coaster will be going a bit faster, making the laterals here just a bit more. But it still wasn't great on this version, at least for me. The strong spinning of the coaster does negate some of these laterals, and your speed just isn't enough to have a great moment here like maybe you could, but still, it should be fun enough. Towards the front, I did get more spinning, so if you're looking to get a little bit dizzy, sitting up there might be better, even if the back normally offers slightly better forces. After going through the station, you'll repeat going around the course 3 more times, which is a short amount for these types of coasters. Rolling Thunder at Big Rivers does have a similar short cycle, but that ride is included with a mission, so you can easily ride it again and again, whereas this attraction has a short cycle while still being about $8 a ride. Overall, how good is Spinning Coaster? This is a neat, interesting looking coaster, especially with all the mirrors around it. This did have less speed and forces compared to other SBF Visa Spinners that I've been on, though it did seem to be a bit better in the spinning department. Spinning on these is fairly random though, so that may not be a consistent trait that you can count on for your $8 ride. The short cycle with only 4 laps makes it feel a bit short, so it ranks as one of the lesser of these coasters that I've been on. I'd rank it right above Crazy 8 at San Antonio's Incredible Pizza. Being my first take on these coasters, I came away rather disappointed in the forces of that ride, so it ranks lower than maybe it should, as I was pretty excited to try this style of coaster and then let down. I rank Spinning Coaster right below the Rattler at Alley Cat's Hearst's. This is a neat view of the highway while braking a bit less in the station, which allows for better forces and laterals throughout the ride. Which SBF Visa spinning coasters have you been on? Can you find them enjoyable, especially nestled around pizza? Let me know, and as always, Kapkun Krap.